What? Did you think I was gone forever?
Yes, frankly. A leaked build of Duke Nukem Forever from 2001 just crashing into everyone's laps. The build that fantastic E3 trailer was based on. We've known about the existence of older Duke builds, but no one ever thought we'd ever see them. Heck, I never thought I'd even hear from this game ever again, especially not as it's broken my heart so badly. You know, I actually bought the Balls of Steel edition of Duke Nukem Forever. I paid more money to have Duke stare and judge me from my shelf. But never mind that for now. Let's just jump straight into this build and look at this thing. First of all, if you're expecting an actual game here, then no. This is in fact not a game. This is still super unfinished. Not like Cyberpunk unfinished, where the game can function but you'll get bugs and performance issues here and there. I mean unfinished in the sense that these levels might not have an end to them. They may not transition to the next and instead just stop with no way to progress, because they hadn't made the way to go forward yet. That is, as well as crashing, bugging out, and sometimes even performance issues, because this is straight up not done yet, and it was never meant to be released. It's a miracle we have it in the first place. Heck, at one point the game crashed, and I got this error message here, and right at the bottom, it asked me if I wanted to email the developers. You bet I said yes. I like to imagine somewhere in Texas, a dusty pager started going off in someone's attic. This video is not being done to make fun of or laugh at the game for being in this state. This whole thing is going to be like an interesting walk through a museum, a piece of gaming history, the sightseeing tour of Duke Nukem Forever 2001. This first section you can play does set the tone for what state this build is in. First of all, you can look in the mirror and see the terrifying unfinished Duke Nukem model here. Someone is probably going to write a creepypasta with that face as the header image.
The man at the garage sale, who called himself Jorge Bazaar, handed me the disc. An unhinged smile crawled across his face. I looked down at the item, DNF, scrawled in blood-red Sharpie across the grubby surface. When I came to my senses, the man was gone, but I later found him trying to find gasoline for his monster truck.
His gloves are also painted onto his hands too, if you notice. This actually kind of checks out though, because in that original stellar 2001 trailer, we never actually see or even hear the Duke properly. I guess we know why now. There are NPCs in this area, but they talk almost entirely in subtitles in the top left corner, which I think is actually a debug console. It's quite common for game development to run things like this early on. Again, I'm not trying to give the game shit. We want to explore a piece of gaming history and see potentially what could have been. There's still a lot of interactivity to the environments, just like old Duke 3D. Taps and showers can be turned on, all kinds of doors can be opened yourself. I'm always impressed when a video game trusts an FPS protagonist to open their own doors, but that's just me. I played lots of Call of Duty campaigns growing up. And of course, you can pee in the toilets.
Much better.
But wait, later on, I see there's a dedicated button to piss anywhere you want, like we're in Postal 2.
Butt sauce.
Except, if we combine this with looking in the mirror, we can see where the pee's coming from. Oh dear. Talk about a pea brain. There's not a whole lot else to see here. This first stage right here has no exit from what I can tell. There is a door that leads to a solid wall, but if that's the exit, it ain't finished yet. So we're just going to move on. Oh, a TV? Let's see what's on. Oh, I didn't expect to pick it up. Oh god, Duke's stealing the TV! We can skip around these levels freely, thank god. And in this section, Duke's penthouse is on fire. Presumably this is post-alien invasion, and he didn't just leave a cigar on the couch. We can talk to this maid, but I can't hear a word she is saying over this fire. You may also notice that she has no hair. This build has got a real problem with rendering hair. You'll notice more as we go along. Here's something interesting that didn't make it into the final game. Duke has to hack a panel to activate the fire suppression system. Duke Nukem Forever was going to have a hacking mini-game. It's not amazing. It's basically just a pipe puzzle. But man, Duke nearly had the same hacking mini-game as BioShock. Wow. Mermaid statue by Vardy. Italian. Smash through inside, and you get lots of tasty little moments that were clearly meant to blow these 2001 mines back in the day. The ceiling shatters and the rain comes pouring in. Glass is actually super impressive for 2001, honestly. A lot of work clearly went in on this. There's some very minor puzzle solving here, involving interacting with the environment. Duke closes an oven door to stop the fire gushing out, and closing the fridge will reveal a way to get to the floor above. And oh boy, we have a pool table! Yes, you can play pool. And yeah, you can even pocket these balls. That's amazing. Ah, it's just like old times. You can even play pinball! Yes! This game, which is far from finished, whose levels are quite barren, and whose many features don't actually work in this version, has a working pinball machine. Take from this what you will. I couldn't see a way to progress from here, so we'll move on again. Duke's got that paper. Anyway. Jesus! I own this building. That's fine, right? I meet another NPC with an unfortunate haircut, and an even more unfortunate voice.
Damn, aren't you? Stay away or I'll blast you.
I get a gun from them, and they lead the charge, only to be killed immediately. Yeah, I said those glass physics were mind-blowing. No, but really, look how they fall down like this. That's actually really cool. This would be impressive even today. Chaise lounge. Italian. From here, we end up hopping across gaps, breaking windows, even taking one of those maintenance lifts to move across rooftops. It's actually genuinely cool. I miss this old kind of level design. This is the Dark Souls of Duke Nukem Forever builds. And we come inside here and... oh my god, a level transition! And this level, this one's great. Relatively. It's got enemies inside! Finally, some shooting! From the first-person perspective! And I'm fighting EDF soldiers! Remember? The Earth Defense Force is compromised.
The Earth Defense Force has been compromised, and I'm afraid you can't trust anyone.
Hey, pal, what are you gonna do? Save the world all by yourself?
Boy, they sure dropped that like a hot stone for the full release. Duke even speaks in this level.
Remember, kids, I'm a professional. Don't try this at school.
Oh, I miss you, buddy. They're very overtly trying to wow you in this section. Like this lightning strike just as you're shooting the guy in the tower. This is something they presumably wanted to show off publicly, hence why it's more finished than the rest of the game. Still, there's clearly been a lot of work put in that's on full display here. Each enemy has their own random name, which you'll see because you need to loot enemies to get their ammo. This predates Yakuza doing that. Actually, doesn't this mean that Duke knows all these guys on like a first name basis? Oh, that's really tragic thinking about it. Hey, look at how these limbs can be damaged and destroyed completely. Ah, that's some Soldier of Fortune shit right there. You can buy things from vending machines to restore your health. Sorry, your ego. Yeah, the ego system was in at this point. Remember that? You can even find MRE rations and military supply crates to recover ego. But honestly, from what I've heard, I feel that should make Duke feel worse. There is still some jank to land you back to the reality of what you're playing here though. Like this hidden vent, which goes absolutely nowhere and has nothing in it. You can destroy these lights, but the light part of the light remains, if you see what I mean. There's also the fact I can jump off the lid of an open crate and get on top of the level geometry super easily. I really don't think I'm meant to be up here. Man, but this skybox? This looks amazing. Like, for 2001, this is ridiculous, my god. I end up dying here, and dying means restarting at the start of the level. But let's keep this train moving and just skip to the next one. We're fighting zombies in tight corridors in the dark. I do find it interesting that the game wasn't just rehashing the Duke Nukem 3D enemies. It was making an attempt at doing its own thing with this Alien Las Plagas thing. Honestly, it did bug me that DNF's released version just went back to the old enemies, and kinda just stayed with them. You know, there was a Duke Nukem comic I got with the Balls of Steel edition. No, it's not the one where Duke Nukem tells a Black World War II veteran about Martin Luther King. Yes, that is real. But it showed other things for Duke to fight, like Sharkmen. That sounds cool. We can do anything in this setting, you know. But no, pig cops and aliens again. Ah, but never mind that though, because now we're swinging across ropes in first person. I can't say I've ever done this before. The closest I've ever got to this is in Thief, and you weren't swinging on them like you're in Tomb Raider. It even controls well too. Huh. You know, I like thinking of Duke swinging around like Tarzan. It seems like his element. Ah, but you want to know exactly where we are? Bash down here, and we see the Cycloid Emperor himself. Or a statue of him. Welcome to the Duke Nukem Museum, which actually made it into the final game, albeit a bit different. We got everything here. Pig cops, assault troopers, an octobrain. Man, that looks really good. Duke's model isn't finished yet, as we've seen, so a generic soldier is being used as a placeholder. But God only knows why this woman is here, and why she's labeled Pig Cop. There was probably going to be another enemy here later, but they maybe didn't even think who that was going to be yet. Italian lamp. Basketball. Not Italian. Hey, what's this? Oh, it's when Duke killed the Cycloid Emperor. Oh, and here's his eyeball too. Look, buddy, this is how you and me met. Ah, good times. Oh god, I can't put him down now. Oh, he's making it really difficult to use the keypad. Again, just like in the final game, we go into our secret Duke lair from our museum, and we talk to the general here. Except, we haven't actually recorded his lines yet, so he's voiced entirely in text-to-speech.
Our engineers have developed a night vision upgrade for your shades, and we are uploading it to you right now. Let us know what you think. Graves out.
Again, I'm not lambasting the game for these bugs and placeholder moments. This is actually really interesting to see, the process of how these things are made. I think at this point I meant to put my head into the console to accept my glasses upgrade from the general, but this isn't in the game yet. Oh well. Also, what is this woman? Is this a Max Headroom reference? Pretty woman, luscious lips, Max Headroom? I think a juvenile joke was meant to go here. I know, I'm a Duke Nukem fan. The level ends with a cheesy musical sting. Yes, very Batman. But transitioning to the next level actually gets me stuck. I'm caught between the pole and the ceiling. How embarrassing. Duke's been bulking too much. Fortunately, I found the no-clip command and got to continue. The precedent has now been set. No-clip is on the table in order to progress. There's no removing it now. I even went back to the first level to see if no-clip could help me there. Turns out there's a whole other half of that level just past where I thought it ended. There's the talk show that made it into the final game. There's even a level transition to the next one. Anyway, more examples of things being of different levels of ready-to-releaseness. A fully functioning ice machine, complete with a button press and everything. But this vending machine, which I've used before, not only doesn't work, but I can just walk right through it. How strange. NPCs are all seemingly voiced by the same guy and all have the same thing to say too.
You're one of them, aren't you? Stay away or I'll blast you. Oh, you're one of them, aren't you? Stay away or I'll blast you. You're one of them, aren't you? Stay away or I'll blast you.
I'm battling with a big problem in this level, which bites me hard trying to play this, and that's that the night vision I was given by generalgraves.exe doesn't actually seem to work. Hard to know if it's just not in the build yet, it's a bug, this compilation of code messed with it, it could be absolutely anything. Heck, maybe I have to turn it on with the console, but I played this early and pretty much blind. Hi, this is Jack from the future. Yes, I did have to turn it on in the console. Bye. Progression is slow because of the dark, but eventually I make it to this room. This artwork is blessed and cursed. But more importantly...
Duke's looking good.
Oh my god, he said it! We also get ego from this. We actually did a few times before when messing with the environment, but this was the first time I noticed it. Again, similar to the released game. You can see that some of the game's design is quite, opaque at this stage of development in this room here. I genuinely thought there was no way to pass forward from here, which was strange as it was actually the start of a new level. But it turns out I had to jump on the furniture from just the right angle in order to get up here above the walls, move across, and get over the gate that way. Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out, honestly. Game design needs to be iterated on just as much as technical details. I did get to see this really good gag though, where this dude is asking me to let him in before he's killed by this monster, who then starts asking me to let him in. Good joke. Wish it made it into the actual game.
Looks like Lady Luck just gave you the finger.
This next part, however, was basically impossible without my glasses. Can't see anything. I have to walk backwards away from the light to know if I was progressing. I really wonder if my own night vision was bugged. Like, how would you even play this as a developer? Hard to say. There were a few steps to getting this running, and there's a chance I just failed to implement one of the several steps properly. Or maybe I just didn't hit that console at the right angle. Wait, no, actually, I just realized what I'm meant to be doing here in editing. There's an NPC with a flashlight, and I noticed that interacting with him made him follow me. You know, like the scientists in Half-Life. After telling him to stop, though, I got distracted by an enemy appearing and forgot he existed. So I guess I was meant to bring him along? Maybe? I don't know. I gave up this section and moved on. A casino next. Very cute. And of course, this place just has fully functioning video poker and slot machines. Because why not? Oh, and I meet this girl in here. Remember her?
They're everywhere! People are turning into monsters! There's no place to hide! Please help us! We're all gonna die! We're all gonna die! They're everywhere!
And we leave pretty quickly from here because the soldiers emplaced in the dark behind cover just destroy me. Maybe if I retried I could beat them, but I'm not here to beat the game. It is not a game yet. Well, technically, I guess this never would be. Outside isn't too interesting. This bus crashes, and it kind of reminds me of the 1998 trailer. And I meet this, well-dressed woman. Am I gonna have to censor this girl? And her hair works! And she's actually voice acted? Too bad this traffic is so loud I can barely hear her. And it's a real shame because she goes on about some wild stuff.
Our time machine was destroyed early in the alien invasion, and only temporarily repaired enough to send a small group through. The scientists that can completely restore the time machine have been kidnapped by the aliens to work on some secret project.
Oh my god, what was this game's plot back then? Despite the wardrobe though, she's still a better NPC than Dylan.
I just got back from helping my friend find his wife!
Oh hey, a shield guy! I remember you boys from the trailer. The paranoia about not knowing when the levels end and breaking the seal on NoClip means I keep finding myself thinking I've reached the end of what's finished in a stage, but no, it's actually just unfinished design. Don't climb to the top of this tower. Stop midway and cross over? How intuitive? There's a whole lot of nothing here. Feels like enemies should maybe, be scattered around, but they haven't been put in yet. Very interesting. Duke drops into the sewers, and there's an octobrain down here! Ah, cool! There's not much intelligence in his artificial intelligence, but he does somehow come back to life and bite me at some point. So, that's cool, I think. The only other thing to really mention here is that I got stuck on the geometry again, so I quit. I could have no-clipped out, but I don't know how much I really care about missing stuff from the sewer level. I missed a stage from the first area. A buffet! Look, a shark! And he has no animation whatsoever! Oh, I love him! We even have to swim through his tank to progress, and he's not hostile at all! Oh, excuse me, old chap. Sorry for disturbing you, sir. Actually, should I be doing a Duke Nukem voice for that?
Excuse me. Sorry for disturbing you.
No, I shouldn't be. There's a laser trip mine puzzle now, and I do okay with it, until I don't. Ah well. There are many, many levels in this build. Like an early version of the strip club motel from the DLC, there's also a turret sequence on a boat. Interestingly, it has a heat mechanic just like the turret section in the main game, and an exploit in both versions is to feather the trigger, and you'll never overheat again. But while we could go on forever, there's also the old Prospector later on, but I think it's best to wrap things up on one of the most striking parts of that classic 2001 trailer. That motorbike. It's such a short part, but I think it says a lot that people remember it well enough that it was even included in the Duke Nukem Forever build engine mod. Ah, here we are. And how is it, now I've got my hands on it after all this time? Well, it controls about as good as it looks. But you know, that's not the point. As I've said before, this is a piece of gaming history. A big what if into one of gaming's most infamous projects. Maybe if this version had been finished and released, yeah, things could have been different for the Duke, but it's helping absolutely no one thinking like that now. I think we can say that this build wasn't going to be ready in 2001. Heck, maybe not even 2002. That 90% complete metric sure isn't true of this build. When It's Done was the official release date, and yeah, they were really trying to put in the effort here, I guess. Guided or misguided. I saw online George Broussard, director and producer of Duke Nukem Forever, didn't want to drag up these old memories, describing them specifically as painful. And yeah, I imagine it is for him. Scott Miller, the former owner of 3D Realms, also made some comments speaking with serious regret. I cannot even begin to imagine what it must feel like to have built Duke into what he was, only for DNF to slowly sink everything. I wouldn't want to give anyone shit for that, honestly. It sounds like these guys probably give themselves enough. Actually, it seems like they like giving it to each other too. Never mind, I don't want to get into this drama. There's more to this build. More weapons to find, even more from console commands, and you can find other areas from the trailer and more levels besides. I'll leave them for you, or others more technically minded, to delve in and discover them. You might wonder if this leaking means that the community could finish this game. Give people the Duke that they wanted, but this isn't a simple mod here. This game is genuinely doing some crazy impressive things for its time. One wonders about the 2001 computer that could actually run this. Not only that, there's still a lot to be done. Not just design-wise, but on the technical side too. Did you know I've been playing entirely in windowed mode? Trying full screen makes the whole game crash. Changing the resolution also makes the game crash. Any enterprising community members who wanted to sort all this out and finish it would have their work cut out for them. Why, years of work likely, perhaps even working forever. This was a ridiculously over-ambitious game. Who knows what manpower would be needed to actually sail this ship? Look, the Duke holds a special place in my heart. Duke Nukem 3D was the first retro FPS boomer shooter I ever played, way back when I was a teenager, and I absolutely loved it, and I'll still defend it today. It's a moody, immensely satisfying, craftily well-designed piece of interactive entertainment that leapt the industry forward with its recognizable environments, inspired from real-world locations, and a huge range of interactivity from the props in its levels that gave everything a real sense of place, of actually existing. Also, it's fun to shoot an alien and quote one-liners.
What a mess.
So it's a shame that Duke Nukem Forever disappointed catastrophically, being delayed for years before finally releasing to a less than warm welcome, including from me. That Duke bust that came with the Balls of Steel edition serves as a constant reminder in hubris and buying into hype for me. This disappointment is probably why Duke hasn't really shown himself again, barring one kinda wonky remaster. Despite the huge wave of popularity that 90s style shooters have been basking in for the past 6 years or so, Duke was owned by Gearbox, but now they've been bought by Embracer Group, and people suppose that there's a chance that they might let Duke out of the basement. Who knows? Maybe. It'd be nice to see Duke ride again in some form, though I know some would like to just let him rest. Certainly those who see him as misogynistic. Look, this shit isn't why anyone likes Duke. I think it'll be interesting to see what the future holds. Even if this unfinished build, this box of what-if wonders, ends up being our closure to Duke Nukem's saga. Oh, I saw at least one person positing that this was in fact leaked deliberately by Embracer to get Duke back into the positive light for a future project. Why, that's an interesting theory. As janky as the demo was, it inspires feelings of longing for what could have been for Duke, and we can overlook its rough patches as it's plainly not finished. Well, it's free marketing then, basically. A way to raise Duke's profile and build excitement for a new title in the future? Except, I think there's one very big problem with that idea. Well, see this main menu right here? You can change the background that's displayed. Presumably they would have allowed custom images to be put here. But shipped in here with this build are a few images already. Natalie Classy? Oh, Natalie Portman? Okay, that's... sure, why not? Celebrity cameo for your game development build. Wait, what's with all these teen pictures? Oh my god. Oh god, this game's filled with porn. Like actual pornography. Not scantily clad NPCs, these are real naked photos of real women. There's even one used as a placeholder in the level select. My god, was this someone's collection? Yeah, I don't think releasing this is going to raise anyone's profile. Please put your own boner joke here.